Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Anna Delman. It is day number 134. My note of instruction for today is virtue is a chore, and it has to be if we practice it right. Virtue, friends, calls for true humility in how we live life. And the more humble we are called to be, the more difficult it can be at times to do that way. Virtue can be a habit learned. We can cultivate it in our lives. It requires diligence. We will see a slow and steady progression of it. And it happens when we give more attention to thinking of others better than we think of ourselves. Again, virtue is a chore. It has to be if we practice it right. It means doing good when you could be indifferent, holding integrity tight, and keeping dignity, yours and the person or the people you are caring for, respecting that. It calls for trustworthiness. Others are not going to trust you if you don't show that you can be trusted with the messiness of their lives. It doesn't mean because you're stepping into somebody else's mess to wash their dishes, to take care of them with a great understanding that of their dignity, of their morality, of their ethics, of their entire lives in your hands. If you're not able to respect that, and they are not able to, in the moment of crisis, trust you with that, you do not know virtue. In practice, virtue will mean doing something very humbling, taking care of another person's mess, living out the morality of your faith to the very least of God's people. That, friends, is virtue because of your faith in practice. And are you able to do it? Why should this be you? Why should you be living this way before others and having this display of what God's done in your life? Friends, consider this. What I've just explained to you is very, very ugly and messy. Life is that way, and life can get that way for many people. Was your life ever that way? Was your life, even in your facade, presented to others, but deep down you know the mess of your life? Didn't God reach down into that mess? His grace, His compassion, showing His care because He is a virtuous God towards you and lifting you out of the mess, loving you and caring you and showing you an alternate way of living? He did that for me. I'm sure He did that for you. And if you were truly honest, you would admit it. You may look perfectly, you may look the most well put together person, but you know your heart as I do mine. And if God could do that for me, why can't you live virtuously in stepping out and stepping into the reality of other people's lives and caring for them? When my church experience here fell apart, God in His mercy and grace opened up an opportunity for me to experience the most sweet grace I could know, and that was working with the intellectually impaired. I found more grace, more compassion, more joy and congeniality amongst them than I did in a church. Friends, that can only be from God. What He allowed me to work out while I was able to serve in that capacity was remarkable. It was shortly thereafter, round about the start of COVID, not because of COVID, that my health started a decline where I became immobilized, limited mobility, had the handicap placard on the car window, had to park in the handicap parking. I wasn't able to function in the same way I had in the past. But what He allowed for me and what I experienced, friends, when we practice virtue, that is where we will see the presence of God being worked out in our lives in ways that are truly remarkable. Friends, again, in the conversation talking points below are scripture verses that I always try to include that are my conversation is based on. Please look down below to be encouraged for your edification. It's in the WBE translation because it's public domain. Please look in your own Bibles for the different translations you may have, or Google them so that you can extract the greater depth from those scripture verses to apply to your own life. So until tomorrow, take care and God bless, and we will talk again. Bye-bye for now.